What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. We are back with another expensive car that I think I got a good deal on, but I could be wrong. There is definitely something listed as being wrong with the car. I decided to take a chance on it because I thought it was a good price. After doing a little bit of research, I'm starting to think maybe I got a raw deal. You guys will have to tell me what you think in the comment section below. Let's jump into it and see what we got ourselves into this time. Well, there it is. 2006 Porsche Cayman S with the 6-speed manual transmission. What is this thing, like 265 horsepower, 285 horsepower, something like that? It's, you know, for a small car like this, it's quite a bit of power for this little thing. It's got some Michelin Pilot Sports. What are they? Are they 4S's? Because those are the new ones. Oh, let's see if we can climb down here and take a look. They are. They're the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S with really good tires. Body looks really good. Rotors are super nice looking. So are the calipers with that nice red paint. Looks really nice. She shouldn't have any trouble with traction at all. Let's see if we can pop the front and the hood, which, there we go. This, I guess, technically is the hood. And, yeah, there's your engine. No, you can't see it. It's buried underneath this cover right here. It's really easy to get to, though. Under here is where you would find your oil and your coolant. Got some mats down here and a little, I guess a little shade. Oh, that just comes right off. Okay, interesting. That's cute. Of course, you got a spoiler. I've got it open because I just think the car looks cooler with it open. The spoiler does work, opens and closes automatically. If you come up to the front, you got your frunk, which I think that's this button. It is. Will this open it though? There's a, you got to find the little latch in there somewhere. There it is. All right. There's your battery right there, a Die Hard. And it even has the cover that's supposed to go over it. So somebody must have needed to jumpstart this, probably the transport company. Yeah, I'll figure that out later, but that's supposed to go up there and close up. And here's the other little push pin for it right there. We've got a, oh, well, it said there's a CD changer in there. No, there's no CD changer. That's okay, the radio doesn't work anyway. What is under here? Oh, your brake fluid, which is nice and clean. And then nothing, absolutely nothing under there. Okay, well, let's take a peek at the interior. So far, so good, right? These windows, though, I think these windows may need to be reprogrammed. I think I can do that with my Altel Maxisys Elite. I'm assuming that when it died, oh, a bird shit on my seats. Well, how convenient is that? That is super convenient. So a bird managed to shit in such a way that it went through here, landed on my seat, and splattered down the seat right there. That's real nice. That's real nice. Anyway, there she is. It smells good. It's a hard top. All right. I assume you guys want to fire it up. It's got under 100,000 miles, which is nice. 96,716. We're going to put a few miles on it here in just a minute. Ignition on. Whoa, hey there. How do we turn that off? Sorry guys, I'm not there we go. We'll just do that. I don't know if that's actually off or not. Here's the stereo, which I tried getting the damn thing to turn on, and doesn't seem to matter what I push. Doesn't do anything. But with that said, I also notice there's a fuse panel down here, and the door's missing. So somebody's been in the fuse panel. Maybe they pulled the fuse for it. Let's fire it up, see what it sounds like. All right. Glove box. What do we got in here? We've got manuals. As is thing, and what the hell is that? Ooh. Really? Oh, maintenance. This is all maintenance. Driving experience, okay. Well, I've never seen one of those before, but okay. So we'll put all this stuff back. You hear a little tapping noise, don't you? Oh, I know somebody's commenting. You've heard it. You heard that tapping noise. Some of you probably know what it is. I don't know what this is, though. Somebody comment below, what is this? I could look in the owner's manual, but, you know, I'm not going to. Then you've got your cup holders, which, honestly, guys, really? That's, no, I don't see that working very well. Come on, there. Ah, get in there. There we go. Let's turn that AC on just a little bit, though. It's a little warm today. There it is. All right. I guess we can put these windows down. Uh-oh. Oh, good. I thought this one didn't work. There we go. Both windows are down now. Now let's come out to the back here. And let's see if you can hear the tapping noise. Unfortunately, popping this won't do any good because everything under there is insulated. And with the trucks going by, it's going to make it hard to hear as well. But you gotta kind of get down on the sides here and listen. I mean, you definitely hear the tapping. Let's go over to the other side. Remember, this is a horizontally opposed engine, so definitely hear it more over here. Yeah, definitely hear more of that on this side. Ooh. Yeah, at first thought I was like, okay, it sounds like lifters. Maybe it's low on oil. Well, you can't check the oil because there's no dipstick. You have to do it from the computer. Well, the computer says she's full of oil. Then there's this problem. Hopefully that's coming out real good on camera, right? She's smoking pretty good. Now that is something that was not listed on the website. It said that it was a green light, run and drive, but it definitely was listed as having a tapping noise from the engine, a ticking noise. And there's definitely a ticking noise, but she's definitely just blowing out smoke. Now I'm trying to figure out what color that is. It's blue. Oh yeah, that's blue. I know it probably looks gray or white. Actually, I don't know. It does kind of look gray or white. It doesn't smell like oil particularly. Now here's the thing, before you freak out, these Porsches are notorious for a couple things, and one of them is smoking when they first start. Generally, as soon as the operating temperature starts coming up, the smoking will subside. So I'm not overly concerned with smoking, although, let's be honest, that's a lot of smoke. We're gonna go ahead and just throw that down there for now and close that hood. We probably should not drive this, but we're gonna take it for a drive. Are you guys wondering how much I paid for this beautiful beast of a car? Well, drop a comment right now and tell me how much you think I paid for it, and I'll clue you in here in just a minute. Let's I'm gonna turn the AC off completely. I think that's off. Is that all the way off? I guess it is. Yeah, I don't actually see like an off button. No. Heated seats don't work either. Rear defogger works. So I'm gonna guess there's a fuse or two missing here. We also got an airbag light on, but aside from the airbag light, there's no other warning lights on. So what happens if we give it just a little bit of gas? You hear that, don't you? Oh, she's smoking good now. She's smoking good now. Ooh. All right. Boy, that was bad. That was bad. Let me get buckled up. Let's take the old girl out for a little run, and let's see how she does. I expect it's probably gonna blow up before we make it home. Anyway, I think we call that content, right? If it blows up. I hope that it doesn't, because I actually do have, I've got a little bit of money into this one. Unfortunately, I think I already know what's wrong with it, and I'll bet there's comments coming in right now. A lot of you probably know what's wrong with it too. I'm gonna bet that there's probably some guesses about head gasket failure. Maybe it's got water in the oil. That's a good possibility, sure. All right. Ooh. Look at all them cars. Oh, she is smoking. Good Lord. Some of you are probably thinking lifters, right? That was my thought. My thought was lifters for sure. She's got some kind of a lifter problem, a lifter tap. Definitely got good oil pressure, so it's not an oil pressure problem. Oh, she's tapping good. We're gonna go ahead and get her up to speed though. I've never driven a Cayman before, and I was just kind of curious, and the price seemed relatively cheap, so I didn't see that there was any harm really in buying it. I don't think I could lose money on this car. Ooh. Unless the engine blew up, then we might lose money on this car. That's definitely a possibility. We're going to try to drive it about 10 miles, which is something you definitely shouldn't do when you have a car that is blowing smoke out of the exhaust and rattling. It's probably the worst idea. Let's take a look at the gauges. All right. We're doing what, 60, 65? All the gauges look good. No warning lights other than the airbag light. Handles like a dream. Now, I see cars just like this with this kind of mileage. Clean title, of course. Good tires and a good body and good interior. I see them going for $20-ish, $25,000 pretty regularly. I did not pay $20,000 for this car. I did not pay $15,000 for this car. I got this car for $12,000. Now, is that a good deal with a motor that's making noise? Probably not. After doing some research, it turns out this problem that I'm having with this Porsche is very, very common to the Caymans, the Carreras, the Boxsters. This is not something that people don't know about. And if you're wondering what it is, try looking up, what do they call it? Hell, I already forgot because I've got a guy riding my backside here. I think they call it bore scoring is the term that's commonly associated with this rattling engine and blowing smoke out of the exhaust. And it's just like it sounds, scoring of the cylinder bores to the point that you end up with oil getting past the rings, causing it to burn oil, generally get poor fuel economy, lack of power, and before you know it, when things are at the very end, you get a nice, rattly, smoky engine, just like the one we've got in front of us today. All right, well, I just put 5 miles on it. It's 5 miles each way. How's she sound? Well, she doesn't sound good, guys. The exhaust, nice and smooth. As of this very moment, she's not billowing smoke, so that is different, because when we first got on the road, she was blowing smoke everywhere. So I think we've at least burned off most of the oil that was coming out of the exhaust. But that tapping noise, man, what a beautiful car too. I know some of you are going to love it and some of you are going to absolutely hate it, but I think it's an absolutely gorgeous car, guys. She is clean and it runs really, really good. Now hopefully it quiets down a little bit here and you can hear this. It's definitely coming from this side. man, I knew it. You can hear it in here, you really can. Will it make it 5 miles back? Well, yeah, I think it will. I do. Comment below, tell me what you think. Let's get on the road, let's see if we can make it back to the house. And then, well, I guess we'll try to make a decision on what we should do with it. But first, we might need to pull it up on the lift and see if she's got any major leaks from underneath. I told you she'd make it back. The engine is definitely a little chattery. It's not normal, and it's not something that you get used to, but we didn't blow the motor. No rods have exploded or grenaded through the block. So I think we're going to be okay. We're right around the corner from the house. As you can see, we still have no check engine lights on. She really seems to ride, and drive completely normal. It's like there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's not misfiring. It's just got a chattery engine that likes to smoke like a freight train when you first fire it up. I'm gonna pull into the drive here. There is flood staying. That car is up for sale right now, and honestly, that thing will probably be sold before too long. Let's set the e-brake and let's go see if she's smoking again. Well, she seems to be really upset that I took off my seatbelt. I don't smell any smoke. I don't see any smoke yet. It's just that same noise. I guess my question is, how long will this thing run and drive in its current condition before the engine gets to a point where it's no longer an option to be daily driving it anymore? And that's something that I just can't answer. After doing research on it and figuring out what that bore scoring is and what it means for the engine, basically it means an engine rebuild. And I have seen on the cheap side people spending around $10,000 to have the engine rebuilt in one of these. Well, obviously you're looking at a car that's worth about $20,000, maybe $25,000 on a good day. If I spend $10,000 on it plus the $12,000 that I've already put into it, well, we're at $22,000, and at this point it makes absolutely no sense to have the engine rebuilt. It seems like a great many of these cars are affected by this problem of bore scoring, and even I know there's the option of you could always get a used engine. And you're absolutely right. I don't think dropping this engine and transmission is nearly as complicated as one might think. The inside of the car comes apart relatively easily for you to gain access to the majority of the upper engine components. This whole thing here, this is a cover for the engine. That all comes off. This top piece here also comes off. And with those things out of the way, you have a lot of room to access the engine in this vehicle. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say that we could probably change the motor in this. We should have just about everything we would need, except for a 2-post lift. I think that would make things a whole lot easier. Doing it on my hoist, on my 4-post, that is, that could be a problem. So as of right now, like I said, the car runs and it drives absolutely great. It's just got that little tick that you hear coming from it. I've had it sitting in the driveway for a while. I didn't notice any oil spots. It doesn't appear that it's leaking anything. But putting a used engine in it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense if ultimately we're going to end up with the same problem again down the road, other than I could sell it and feel good about knowing that at least for now, the person getting the car will be able to drive it. Whether they get to enjoy it for 3 months or 6 months or 6 years, we won't know. The only way to know for sure is to have the engine done properly. And I'm just not prepared for that expense at this point in time. So what do you guys think? You could definitely drive it, and this is where I'm at with it, okay? I am most likely going to go ahead and send it down the road, but I'm going to send it down the road with full disclosure that the engine has a tapping noise. I'm not going to try to scam somebody or screw somebody out of their hard-earned money. Quite frankly, I don't need the money bad enough to be out there selling my conscience for a few dollar bills. All right, somebody can get this car and say, hey, I already know what the problem with this engine is. It's a very common problem, and there you go. They can get themselves a used engine, or I would just highly recommend, I would not do a used engine on one of these cars. I wouldn't do it. You're taking a big risk. And that's a lot of labor. Even if you do it yourself, that's a lot of labor going into this car on an engine that most likely is going to have the same problem later on down the road. So if it was me and it was something that I just had to have and I wanted it and was going to daily drive it, or this was just my baby, I would do it right and I'd have the engine rebuilt. I couldn't rebuild the engine in this car if my life depended on it, but I could take it to a shop and let them rebuild this engine. Hopefully the audio came out. I really wanted you guys to be able to hear that noise and comment below and tell me what you think. There are several of you that deal in these kinds of cars all the time, and obviously this is not my wheelhouse. You're looking at my wheelhouse out here. Old 80s and 90s Chevys, Mercurys, Fords, even a Honda or two. This right here, not my wheelhouse. Like I said, I didn't take a huge risk on this car because it was only $12,000. The way I feel about it, as long as it still runs and it drives, which it does very well, and it stays in as good a condition as it's currently in, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to get my money back on this car. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't have time for major projects, but I do thoroughly enjoy picking up random cars at auction, bringing them home, and testing them out to see what they do or don't do. And then if they need a little bit of work, not a problem. We can do some work to them and put them back on the road. If they need a lot of work, like this one, best to just send it on down the road and get us something else to play with. Well, I'm going to put this car right back in its parking spot, and I suppose I'm going to have Copart go ahead and throw this up on the auction block. Let's see how it does. Maybe it'll bring us a few dollars, and maybe we'll lose a few dollars. Either way, it doesn't bother me because I had the enjoyable experience of being able to take a car I've never owned before and driving it on the street. And honestly, a manual transmission is about the only way to really be able to enjoy a car like this. So I had a great time, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The car is so much fun to drive, although I'm sure Porsche makes a few others, maybe a GT3 or a GT3 RS, that would be a hell of a lot more fun. I just love the way Porsches handle. They ride and handle the road in a way that makes you feel like you own it, man. Even with a rattly engine, these things are still an absolute joy to drive. If you guys enjoyed this short video, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not currently subscribed. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Auto Auction Rebuilds. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. And so does Roxy. Well, look at you. You finally decided to show up and hang out, huh? Yeah, good dog. Good dog. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. In the next one.